Hey guys, May is here and with it brings some new reading challenges. Hey guys, if you are new, welcome to the Book Path. I'm Nicole, and if this isn't your first rodeo, thanks for sticking around. I am filming this the same day as doing my final book support group Readathon. And if you've watched that one, you will know that I am recovering from a cold. So if I sound a little that would be the reason why, but I'm going to try to edit out as many coughs and sneezes and nastiness as possible. So basically, I decided to do two TBRs. One is strictly just for the final book support group because that is kind of the first thing hitting us in May. The rest all kind of take part the entire month, and so we're going to go through them kind of with like newer ones, and just, it made sense in my head, so we'll see if it makes sense coming out. But basically, we have a few different readathons that we're participating in this month. Of course, we still have the Year in Aurelium Magical Readathon that goes on every month for the one book a month that you pick for characters, even though I have two characters, so it's 2 books a month for me. So that will be continuing. We also have the next picks for our Cocky Hero kind of book club thing that we're doing. We also have to finish our challenge accepted jar pick. So we'll go ahead and we'll get into all of that. So the first readathon that we will be tackling is Asian Readathon. This is a month-long readathon hosted by Cindy over at With Cindy. And this is basically a readathon that is Asian inspired, and it is to start bringing kind of awareness to Asian authors. And by Asian, we mean anybody from the Asian continent. We're talking Thailand, Philippines, India, and everywhere in between. Pacific Islanders are also included in this, so there is a huge array of countries to choose from for authors. So for this is going to be going month long. There are always 5 prompts. The 5 prompts are usually based around some kind of movie that's come out in the past year that has either been directed by an Asian director or starred a very well-rounded cast of Asian actors and actresses. So with that being said, this month's theme, or this readathon's theme, is past lives. So let's go ahead and get into the prompts. For prompt number 1, it is to read a book by an Asian author. This is one that I will probably double up with one of the following books. I just haven't decided which one I'm going to use to fulfill that yet, but it's an easy enough one done. It's an easy enough prompt to fulfill for the Asian Readathon. Any Asian author will do. For prompt number 2, this is a book that feels timeless. She said that this is one where either the book is maybe a classic, it's one that you feel has just stood the testament of time. It is one that maybe you've read that's new that you feel is going to be something like a classic in the future. It could also have to deal with theories of time or anything like that. And for that one, I decided to read a book that deals with time in and of itself, and that is The Three-Body Problem by Cixin Liu. I hope I pronounced that right. This is obviously the basis book series for the show that had come out on Netflix. Obviously, I ended up getting the cover that says Netflix, which I hate, but it's a thing. I've heard really good things about this book series. I know it possibly has to do with multiple timelines, so therefore the timeless feel. Plus, I think this came out a while ago, and it's now kind of getting back into its acclaim. It looks like it might have come out in like 2006 originally. So it's one that I feel is now standing the testament of time because it came out many years ago, and it's kind of having a resurgence because of the TV show, as well as like just a lot of people talking about it on BookTube. That's where I first noticed it before the show became a thing. I'm not too sure what it has to deal with, other than it has to deal with possible alien communications and multiple timelines. So we will see what happens. I haven't watched the show yet because I've been wanting to read this before I watch the show. So that is going to be our prompt for this one. So prompt number 3 is to read a book that's underrated. And for this one, I am doubling up and taking a book from my final book support group and that is The Dragon's Promise by Elizabeth Lim. This is a book that when I've been seeing kind of people talk about it, they didn't enjoy it as much as the Six Crimson Cranes. And so for that, I feel like it might be underrated. Like with a lot of people maybe not enjoying it as much, maybe I will enjoy it. And so it's kind of like an underdog right now for me. But that's the one that I am going to choose for my underrated book pick. And prompt number 4 is to read a debut book by an Asian author. Once again, I am taking from my final book support group picks, and I am choosing An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. This one is, I found out that this is actually the debut novel of the author, so it worked out really well that I could double up on this prompt and mix it with the books for the final book support group. So of course, I'm going to go ahead and use this one to fulfill my book prompt for that. I'm not going to go into too much about it other than it seems like a possible military school with the intentions of a coup or some type of plan to change the government. But that is what we're going for our debut book. So for our final prompt is to read a book that features something you want in the next life. Obviously, Past Lives deals with discussions of reincarnation and meeting again. And so this was to think about something that if you were to reincarnate, what is something that you would want going into your next life? Would it be something as simple as, well, I don't want to say simple, would it be something like finding true love, finding your soulmate? Would it be being a billionaire? Would it be living in a completely different world that maybe has dragons or anything like that? So for this one, I am leaving that blank right now. I'm probably going to double up and just select an element or even the world from the books that I have already chosen. So for that, we'll be reading these 3 for the 5 prompts, and that's fine because she says you can double up, and this makes it a lot more doable, especially when like these 2 are for final book support group, and we hope to get these done by the 6th of May. So if that's good, then that leaves us only this one to get through for the rest of the month, which is doing fantastic so far. So obviously we still have our magical readathon, and for that I still have the prompts from March that I have to get through, which was to read a book that was neither first or last in the series. So I do need to get to that one. And I'm going to double up with Final Book Support Group again, and I am going to pick The House of War and Bone because this is book 2 in the series. It is neither the first nor the last book, and we will go from that. I did a kind of what this book's about in the Final Book Support Group video, so I'm not going to go over it too much here. But yeah, you just have like kind of like a fantasy world where you have the main character who's cursed, and the last book left off on a cliffhanger, and that's all I'm going to say for it right now. But this is going to be the catch-up book that I need to read to fulfill March's character prompt. So then for our next one there were 4 different prompts to choose from. So for the first one I chose, which I have yet to determine if it's going to be my male character or my female character that gets either one of these. It will just happen when it happens. I'll decide in the moment. But for the first one, I chose to read a book with multiple A's and multiple S's. This is basically a book that has multiple A's and S's in the title, on the cover, whatever. And so for that pick, I chose Assistant to the Villain because obviously we have 3 A's and 3 S's, and I figured that was multiple enough for this. I have heard good reviews on this one. This is basically about a girl who goes to work for a renowned infamous kind of magical wizard or whatever, but he's regarded as a villain, and something happens to where I think he either gets kidnapped or imprisoned, and so she has to now come and plead his case and save him. And obviously there's kind of like the he's the villain but I'm falling for him type of trope there, but I've heard it's really funny, and I got this a while ago. I think I got this back in last August, so it's been sitting on the shelves for a while. So I wanted to get to this one, and it's going to fulfill that prompt. And the other prompt that I chose for my other character was to read a book with multiple R's. And for this one, I am choosing to read The Librarian and the Janitor, and I can't remember who the author is, but I will post it up here so you'll be able to see. This one was just kind of funny for me because it's like obviously a school setting and you have the school librarian and the school janitor. So maybe it's some after hours romance. I think it's a quick read, so that should be fun. But obviously it has multiple R's for librarian and janitor. I think there's like 3. So we're going to go with that one, and it should be a fun little spicy read for the month. And that is kind of what we need with so much kind of heavy hitting fantasy that we've already chosen. So those are going to be my 3 books, if you count the one that I have to catch up on to get me caught up in the Magical Readathon year-long kind of choose your own adventure. With that being said, we are going to our next book in the Cocky Hero Club. We switched out because I think Playboy Pilot was supposed to be the one that we read in April, and then I ended up finding out that that was not the next book in the series. So we switched that out, and it is actually the book that should be for this month. And so we are going to try to tackle the Playboy Pilot by Penelope Ward and V. Keelan this month. Just to kind of recap, it is about a girl who kind of falls in love with a pilot, and she kind of follows him jet setting around the world, and then just kind of starts to wonder if this is really the kind of relationship that she wants. So we'll go from there. I've been liking her books so far. I think the last one I wasn't the biggest fan of, but other than that, the books have all been 5 stars. So hopefully we'll get back to that 5-star with this read. We also have to finish our challenge accepted jar pick, and that was Mansfield Park by Jane Austen. As you know, I read Northanger Abbey, ended up DNFing it. It just wasn't for me. I didn't like the way the author kind of wrote about her characters, and just it just didn't jive with me. So we're going to try it again for Mansfield Park. Hopefully it works out. If not, I may consider just taking out all my Jane Austen picks and realizing that maybe I am more of a film adaptations girl than the actual book on that one. So that is the other book that we will be reading for this month. Those are all basically the books that we will be picking. We will have obviously the final book support books as well as I think some of these books fit the requirements or are on the list for the Reddit annual readathon as well. So lots of little bits here and there for, year-long stuff, month-long stuff. So that is basically what we're reading for that month, including all like kind of the year-long readathons and everything. But there is one final readathon that we will be participating in. It is a month-long readathon, and that is the Escape the Readathon hosted by Lexi over at Books with Lexi. I have never done this one before, but I've seen some of them from previous years and things that she's done, where the whole thing is you join a team, you get kind of stranded wherever in a kind of spooky-ish theme that she's going with, and you have to read as many books as you can for specific prompts to get points in order to escape. And for this one, we are trying to escape the Black Cat Carnival. I have joined up with Team Snack Squad. These are the group of peoples that they want to go to the carnivals to try all the carnival food, and of course, that is pretty much what I would be doing because I'm not going to be getting on any Ferris wheels or roller coasters or anything like that. Even though I do like to play the games, I think my heart would lie with trying all those wonderful, interesting creations that you only find at the carnivals. So I'm going to be joining up with that team and trying to read prompts. Now, you do not, even though the readathon is spooky kind of themed, you don't have to read spooky books, although it is encouraged. So I will be using all the books that I am reading. That is why I'm not really going into what I will be reading for that readathon, because you can read whatever you want and assign it to specific prompts as you see fit. So that is what I'm going to be doing for the month. I will let you know in wrap-ups what I ended up using the books for, what prompts for the Black Cat Carnival escape that I completed. So that will be fun, and trying that out, and wish me luck and hope that we escape. So in taking into consideration the final book support group, the Magical Readathon, the Asian Readathon, our Cocky Hero Club pick, our Challenge Accepted Jar pick, and Black Cat Carnival, so far we are looking at this. And then of course this doesn't involve the I think the manga that we are reading, which will be a really quick, easy pick, the Mansfield Park, and the Playboy Pilot. So there should be like 3 other little books up here. So it's going to be an interesting month. Some of these are shorter. The manga I should be able to get through. I think one of the books is like less than 300 pages. So those ones I should be able to get through. And if you really want to think about it, I think it's these 4 books here have to be done within that first weekend along with the manga. So that will leave me the entire month to finish these 2, Mansfield Park and the Cocky Hero Club pick. And I feel like when you look at it that way, this one seems a little scary, I'm not gonna lie, but we're gonna, you know, try it out and we gotta get it done. So by the end of the month, these will be done. It's just, can I get them done for final book support group? And then leaving this with these 2, as well as the Mansfield Park and Cocky Hero Plick. That feels a little bit more manageable, because then that's like 4 books for the rest of the year. I mean, for the rest of the month, sorry. But other than that, yeah, let me know if you have read any of these, what your thoughts were on them. Let me know if you too struggled with the Jane Austen books. I'm kind of finding that a little bit heartbreaking, because I really do love the adaptations and have never really read the books. But it's the writing style. I think that just the way she writes about her characters is just very kind of mean. She didn't do them well. But anyway, we'll see how Mansfield Park goes. But let me know what you're reading. Let me know what readathons you guys are participating in the month of May. I hope that all is going well with you. And with that being said, I look forward to hearing from you guys and seeing you all in the next video. Bye.